It is your nature to fear what you do not understand. You lock it away in cages to keep yourself safe. This way you don't have to learn its true nature, but not everything can be caged. Since the first of our people walked this land, we have always understood the great spirit of the forest and how to live with it. I've always understood the forest better than the civilization your people imposed on the land. In the forest, my people knew we had a future, the way things had always been. Our lands had always provided for us. Those days are long gone. The buffalo, once spread wild across the land, are gone. The mighty wolves now live in cages. Like my people, are only a shadow of what we once were. Slowly this land has been consumed by your cities of steel and cement, but there is still one that'll never be caged. A secret the mountains and the forests still keep. They are the master of the woods, the shadow guardians, the boss of the mountains. They are called by many names, by many tribes. The elders speak of them with respect, for they are the ultimate strength of the forest. These stories have been passed down from our ancestors for generations to have the wisdom to understand the forest like no civilized man could. My grandfather would speak of them as shadows. No one can catch a shadow or lock a shadow away. He would say it is the wise man that knows they must be left alone. This is simple knowledge that your people never learned. You cut down the forest, dam the rivers, and fence the plains like prisons. Sasquatch watches you as you cut down his home and wound the great spirit of this land. There is no room in your cities of glass and steel for them. It is easier to dismiss them only as stories, but they are real. Real as your shadows, and always watching.
Waste of time and money, and I have more important things to do, obviously, which is the discovery of Sasquatch.
Still moving. Can't get no closer.
There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
He sounds like he talks to us and they talk to each other.
Yeah.
And anyway, so
Yeah, if you would, let's chat with Jeff real quick, and I'll come back to you, David.
okay, all right. Here's Jeff.
Hey Wes, how you doing?
I'm well, Jeff. Thanks so much for being on the show. And I know David kind of and I want to talk to you a little bit about this property before we get into that. So you guys go back to the camp, and then you have to, I don't blame you for going to get your phone, but so you take off to go get your phone, and what kind of happens?
Okay, I get down there. I'm on my way back down there, and then all of a sudden I hear the pacing again. Here comes the pacing. I stop, it stops, and then it gets louder. Then it gets closer. And then I'm telling you, man, the weeds down there in that river bottom or that hollow bottom, there's a place where the water collects, and there's a place on the north side that the water don't collect. Now, when the water does collect, that's where I had that tree stand in that tree. There's no water there, but I'm just saying when it gets high, the water collects down there, and the weeds are like chest high. I mean, they're tall. But if you get up in that tree, in that bottom, you can see forever. That's why I knew that tree would be the best tree to be in, because we've hunted there before, and I thought, man, if I could find that tree and get that tree stand up in it, I will have a view of this whole hollow. anyhow, I get down there, and this thing's pacing me, and I'm like, David. I'm yelling. I'm thinking it's David. I'm like, hey, is that you? And I walk a little bit more, and this thing is perfectly timing my tromping through the weeds, because I'm tromping and I stop real fast and I can hear clunk clunk. This thing is pacing me like a human, and I'm freaked out. I'm starting to think about him being scared, and this is freaking me out. And then this thing with the loudest. And look, man, I don't know that it was Bigfoot. Okay, I don't know what it was. You can call it a Neanderthal as far as I'm concerned. At this point, Bigfoot's not in my mind. I'm thinking meth head, pot growers, some country bumpkin down here trying to mess with me. I don't know. But out of nowhere, this voice was so loud, and it said his name. David, clear as a bell, but demonic sounding. I mean, ear splitting loud. I mean, I was so shocked, I didn't even know what to do. I was just sitting there like, I don't even understand what's happening. Is this David yelling his name? I mean, I don't know what to do. And then it laughed with the most hideous, crazy, satanic voice. It laughed like a human. I mean, but super loud. And I remember when it laughed, it was so loud that it vibrated my clothing. I could feel I could feel it so loud. It was hitting my body. I mean, it made my clothes move. I mean, it vibrated me like my body. And at that point, my little voice in my head said, "You need to get up that tree, and you need to get up that tree now." And I got up in that tree, and I think I scraped and cut myself all up trying to, I was just going up so fast. I was just hitting them stobs with my hands, and I was pulling. And I got up there, and I've got this little cheesy flashlight, and I'm like, "David, if that's you, I'm gonna kill you." I'm screaming and hollering, and then this thing retreats a little bit because I've got good distance on it. I'm up, I'm elevated. This thing's probably 15 foot up, maybe 8. I don't know. It's up in the air. It's up off the ground a ways. And I get up there and I'm shining this light, and this thing, I told you there's tall weeds down here, and I never got a super good look at it. Okay, it was just like it was like huge. I mean, it was like maybe 4 feet wide, where it would push the where I would see it coming out of the weeds. And I shined my light on it, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is nothing like I've never seen before." I couldn't see real good detail, but I could tell this thing it's huge. This space that this thing is displacing, and it was black. You could see a good contrast because those weeds were tan. They were like a light tan. And this thing was making a good contrast on them weeds. So yeah, I could see that. I couldn't see real good detail, but I could see that. And after hearing this voice from hell say his name, I'm thinking there's some crazy nuts down here going to kill me. I mean, I didn't know what to. I thought it was just, I'm not thinking Bigfoot. But I told whatever this was one more time, if you don't leave, I will kill you. I am going to shoot. I'm going to kill you. And it kept on trying to test me. So I fired.
What was the creature doing right before you fired?
It would come into the range of my light, and then it would retreat and try to how should I say it? It would leave the view of my light, and then it would come back around and try to ambush me at another point where I wasn't looking. And then I'd shine the light over there. And then it'd retreat and do the same thing. It looked like to me it was just trying to scare me. And it did a good job. I am so scared at this point. Man, I would never fire my gun at something that I didn't know what it was. I mean, I would never do that. And I've been brought up like that. I just would never even think about that.
And you don't have to explain yourself by any means, Jeff. I would have shot too, honestly. especially
No.
if I hear some demonic voice saying my brother-in-law's name.
You know what? It wasn't just the voice. It was the magnitude of the voice. At that point, I'm thinking that's, when I got up in the tree and had about 2 seconds to put in my head, that's not normal. Nobody could be that loud. Nobody could be that loud. It was like a speaker coming right towards me, and it just engulfed me, And I was like, no, this is not right. This is not right. And I thought, man, you know what? I'm going to fire. I computed those thoughts and made up my mind to fire in about 5 or 10 seconds. And I told it, man, I'm going to shoot if you don't stop this. And I shot, and I shot again. And I don't know. I think I hit it. I mean, I'm close, But anybody could point a rubber band gun and pull it and hit somebody 10 feet away.
After you shot it, did it vocalize or anything afterwards?
No, it crashed and it destroyed everything in its path retreating. But it made no bones about getting out of there.
And so what kind of happens next? Is that when you leave and you head back to camp?
When I heard it leaving, and anybody could have heard it leaving. I mean, it was not trying to be stealthy or anything. It was when it left, it crashed. And when I saw it going north, I got the heck out of there and went south. And you know what? I have amnesia from that point. So I don't even remember pushing a tree out of my way at that point. I was trying to get back to camp so fast. I mean, I have no memory. Can't even remember. I know it's rough country down there. It's a struggle. And I have no memory of when I got down out of that tree, getting back to the camp. I just remember, I've got to get back to camp. This thing went that way. I'm going the other way. Thank God my camp was the direction I needed to be going, away from this thing. I probably would have spent the night in the tree if this thing would have went south.
I would have fired too, honestly. And I'm against firing at night, and I'm against hunting at night. And I would be more of an ethical hunter. But in your situation, Jeff, I absolutely would have started shooting. I would have given warning like you did, and then I would have started blasting, especially if it's the behavior it's making, because it's almost like it's hunting you.
Yeah, the voice was so loud. I just can't say how loud the voice. I wish, it's one thing for me to say, Wes, this voice was very loud. It's another thing for you to be there and have you ever been on like an aluminum boat or something, or an aluminum chair, or a concert chair, and the music's so loud it kind of tickles you. It vibrates the chair, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's freaking loud. My shirt did that on my chest. I mean, I was like, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, I just thought that's not possible for something to be that loud. That's the part that creeped me out, I guess. More than anything. I mean, that just was like, there's no way something is this loud.
Yeah, and the laugh is creepy too when you hear it.
Oh, yeah, my heart about melted. When it laughed, I was like, oh my God, what are they laughing at me because I'm scared? At this point, I'm just trying to make sense of it. And I'm thinking, what is this thing doing? Is it laughing at me because I'm scared? Is it trying to scare me? I don't know.
Let me ask you, before we get to going back to the camp, you've heard the Sierra sounds, Jeff, of, when you listen to it, everyone kind of has a different take on it, of Ron Moorhead. Have you heard that before?
Yes, I have.
And when you hear it, there's one where Ron's mimicking what they do. And I don't know what the creature's saying, but when you hear it, it sounds like he's saying, watch this. And he goes, ah, and Ron mimics it back. Was the voice similar to that, or was it more clear?
It was very similar to that. It was. I mean, it was real similar to that. Real deep, low. I think on the Sierra Sounds, there's one where it says something and Ron Moorhead says something, and it goes, Rock Roy. Well, it sounds like he's saying Rock Roy or Ship Ahoy or something. I don't know, but he goes Rock Roy. I mean, it was sounded like that, but.
That's right, Never know where we went for tracks and all that for sure. There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow. They sound like he talks to others and they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Right there, just think of right through there.
And as you can see in this photograph of me, I've measured the width of my head, just using me as an example because I don't want to give any credence to the what do I even call him? The idiot that morphed my head into a Sasquatch. When I looked at this footage, it made me laugh was, this shot is obviously handheld. It's clearly not on a tripod. If I wasn't filming, who was? And the answer is, I was. Nobody else has ever. Let's just leave it at that. He's, you have to understand, first of all, this is my footage. It cost me so much to get this footage. Time, money, effort, risking my life, losing so much. It just blows my mind what it takes to get footage like this. Ask any wildlife photographer. Imagine they go out and get incredible footage of whales or lions or all the stuff that they do, and some asshole comes and steals it all. And you are an asshole when you steal like that. So I would sue all these people, but it'd be a waste of time and money, and I have more important things to do, obviously, which is the discovery of Sasquatch. So, but anyways, this person who stole footage from me, and you know what's ironic about stealing footage from me? I would just give it to you if you asked. But no, thieves steal, lie. When you look at this piece of footage, first thing that we discovered is my head's been widened, and the Sasquatch's head has been thinned. So to match that up, very convenient, right? Isn't that amazing? He thinned. That Sasquatch was enormous, in case you were wondering. He was absolutely gigantic. You'll see there that his nose alone is 3 inches wide, which is just totally amazing. The separation between his eyes is approximately 8 inches, and as you can see in this photograph of me, I've measured the width of my head, just using me as an example because I don't want to give any credence to the what do I even call him? The idiot that morphed my head into a Sasquatch. When I looked at this footage, it made me laugh was, this shot is obviously handheld. It's clearly not on a tripod. If I wasn't filming, who was?
Dam the rivers and fence the plains like prisons. Sasquatch watches you as you cut down his home and wound the great spirit of this land. There is no room
in your cities of glass and steel for them. It is easier to dismiss them only as stories, but they are real. Real as your shadows, and always watching.